All right, let's get to our top 3 players at each position. Jamey, for quarterback, what do we got?
So Daniel Jones is 1 for me. Number 2 is Jake Browning. And I believe 3 is Rodgers.
All right, Daniel Jones, Jake Browning, Aaron Rodgers. Rodgers facing the Patriots this week, who are giving up the most yards per attempt and over 300 yards to both quarterbacks they've faced. With Daniel Jones, do you guys feel like this is a must-have player, basically, whether you need a quarterback or not? Because this is, Jamey, I said the Baker Mayfield yesterday, and you said, and let's say maybe the Sam Darnold, but is this the guy who's going to be a top 10 quarterback this year? Then just needs to be rostered.
I guess if you have, open roster spot, and based on the fact that all these quarterbacks are going down, maybe you can add him and trade him, or, you want to cover yourself just in case, that your guy is the next one to get injured. But if you need a quarterback, then yes, he should be added. So if you're the Burrow manager, if you're the Daniels manager, if you're the Fields manager, Fields probably, whether he's going to play this week or not, you want to pick up Daniel Jones to see what this looks like moving forward. But clearly there's something here. And, you could chalk it up the first week to say, well, we thought Miami was going to be bad, and he just completely blew us away with how he performed, scoring on every possession, in terms of the Colts, the way that he scored the 2 rushing touchdowns, leaning on Michael Pittman and Tyler Warren. Okay, so there was everything they could have asked for. And then here comes Denver. Well, we know Denver's defense. They're going to make him look stupid. And he made them look stupid, And so a 300-yard game gets you another rushing touchdown. So the things that Daniel Jones has done well in his career using his legs, you're seeing that. And now you're seeing a guy that's not making the same stupid mistakes. Again, spending time in Minnesota, getting better coaching with the Colts, and what Shane Steichen is doing with him. So I think you got to trust it, at least in the short term, until he turns into a pumpkin. And that may happen. And it may happen again, this week. Not that I think that the Titans defense is one to run away from by any stretch. But when you're seeing all these quarterbacks getting hurt, and you're seeing some of the poor play from some of the guys at the position, like, why would you not want to buy into this? And I'll go back to something I said in the preseason or the offseason, that if, let's just say, Aaron Rodgers had signed here based on the weapons that the Colts have, just a guy that can throw the ball. Like, we would be so excited about the situation, because the situation on paper is great. You have this passing attack that just needed somebody to be competent. And that's what Daniel Jones has been so far. And so I still don't think, like I said yesterday, Adam, I still don't think we've seen the best of it, because we haven't seen sort of everybody clicking at once. Warren's been the constant, great, awesome, because we need that at that position. And you had one good game from Michael Pittman, and then an okay game from Josh Downs. Imagine if we get sort of like that Browns game that we had in week 1, where everybody's getting involved in touches and producing, and then you're seeing Daniel Jones even use his legs on top of that. So I think it's just low-end number 1 guy for the rest of season. He's in that category. For this week, I think he's a top 12 quarterback.
Okay. He had, according to Fantasy Points data suite, a 97% first read target rate in week 2. The highest percentage of passes that were first read for a quarterback in any game since Fantasy Points data has been charting those games back to 2021. This is a tweet from Jacob Gibbs. So he's just kind of running within the confines of the offense, and it's working for him. So good job, Daniel Jones. Would you rather have Caleb Williams or Daniel Jones rest of season?
It's a great question.
That is a good question. I'm a little worried about Caleb getting benched at some point. I'm not worried about that with Daniel Jones anymore.
I mean, God, I love Caleb this week against the Cowboys, right?
Sure. Yeah, I do too.
Yes, for this week, if you're the Daniels manager, let's say 10-team league, and both are available, I would go Caleb Williams.
All right. Top 3 running backs, Dave?
Top 3 running backs, I would have Rodriguez 1, and these are not great names. Rodriguez 1, Woody Marks 2. I guess Monangai is 3, but I had a hard time finding running backs that I really, A, were available, and B, could be something significant in the short term.
Jamey, do you like Rodriguez or McNichols?
I would go McNichols first. I just think that based on what he can do as a pass protector, they're going to trust him to be on the field more. So the way that I view it is McNichols is going to get the first shot in Eckler's role, which is going to change. But Eckler's snaps if you want to go that route. And then Rodriguez, I still think, is just the backup to Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt. The hope would be is that Krosky-Merritt starts to get involved in the passing game, but I do think that McNichols is going to be the one that they trust in pass protection as of now.
Okay. Top three, and Jamey also likes Blake Corum, who we'll discuss in a bit. Top three wide
So
receivers.
you're probably haven't seen the updated version of it. So Rashad White would be second for me if you just going past the Washington situation because he's 64% rostered. And I think if you're going to get double-digit touches for him, because we did not see that in week 1, and I don't know how much of that was the groin injury, coming back from that he suffered in the preseason. So you got 11 touches, or excuse me, 12 touches, 10 carries, and 2 catches. Like, he can still be in the flex conversation, especially when we start to get into bye weeks, if he's doing that. So even take away the touchdown. He ran really well. He actually ran better than Bucky.
All right, wide receivers, Jamey, who are the top three?
So I'll go Wan'Dale 1, Tillman 2, and Shaheed 3.
And I think you pretty much, intimated earlier that it's close, right? So don't put a huge fab bid on any of these wide receivers. You go Wan'Dale, Tillman, Shaheed. Dave, how about you? What would your order be at wide receiver?
Tillman's still going to be number 1, Wan'Dale's second, and there's a clear difference between those two and the other wide receivers that are available. I'd go Romeo Doubs 3 as a short-term fix. We know that Christian Watson's still not playing for the next couple of weeks. Jaden Reed's out for a while. Matthew Golden, they're trying to get going. I think Doubs is just the safe, steady wide receiver in Green Bay's passing game. And so I'd rather have him than Shaheed, than Franklin, but it's a short-term play, not a long-term play.
Okay.
Yeah, I would actually go Wicks over Dobbs if you're looking for the Packers guy to go get, because I think we kind of know what Dobbs is. And you're right. I mean, he's going to be on the field a lot. He's going to get opportunities. Hopefully, he gets more targets. But you saw Reed goes down and Wicks playing time spikes, target spike. This is, I think, a guy that has a higher ceiling than what Dobbs can give you.
One of the things the Packers and a lot of offenses do well is they put guys in motion and then they create easy opportunities for those guys. And that was often Jaden Reed. But last week it was Dontavian Wicks. He was in motion on 30.6% of his snaps, and it led to some easy catches for him. Romeo Doubs, meanwhile, is almost never in motion. So I don't know if that's too beyond the box scory for you, but I did like seeing that from Wicks.
I mean, Wicks had a nice game and good target share in week 2. I know who he is, and I know he doesn't have reliable hands. I'd rather go with Doubs.
Yeah, I agree, but I'll use your exact same phrase. I know who Dobbs is too. Like, there's just like a cap ceiling for him, unfortunately.
Do you feel like that ceiling is there though, without Reed and without the downfield targets being great for Green Bay?
I just think he is who he is. Like, he's not going to be a guy that gets a ton of opportunities. He's touchdown dependent. Like, Wicks can be such a difference maker. Granted, he's got to catch the ball. That's a big part of this. But clearly he's their guy that they want in this role without Reed there.
All right, top tight ends, Dave Richard. Who are top 3 tight ends?
It's Juwan Johnson, number 1. It's Harold Fannin, number 2. Jatavion Sanders, number 3.
Who are some players you drop for them?
Well, among tight ends, I think you can move on from. There's a lot of them: Brenton Strange, Hunter Henry, Evan Ingram, Dalton Kincaid, Dallas Goedert, if he's not back this week, could hit the waiver wire in a few leagues. Mark Andrews is like 96% rostered. You could move on from him. I don't know if you necessarily can do that, but if you can, then by all means, go for it.
Okay.
Some people are going to want to hang on to Andrews because they know who he's been. If he's your worst player to drop, we talk about this all the time. Who's the player on your bench who's most expendable? For some people, that could be Andrews. And in those situations, I wouldn't blame you for dropping him based on what we've seen for the last couple of weeks and what we know is coming for the Baltimore offense once Isaiah Likely gets healthy. And even if Likely gets healthy, I think that it hurts Andrews' chances, but Andrews' chances are already muddled because of what we're getting out of DeAndre Hopkins, and Zay Flowers is dominating targets. It's just not working out for Mark Andrews.
Now it's time for coverage you can count on, presented by Nationwide. Give me, Jamey, a DST to stream this week.
Well, I'll go with the Chiefs. I know Russell Wilson went for 450 and looked great, but the Chiefs just shut down the Eagles. It was really funny if you caught the conversation between Chris Jones and Jalen Hurts at the end of the game. He said, "You don't even have 100 yards," and Jalen Hurts goes, "We won the game basically, dumbass. They're angry. They're going to take it out on the Giants. It's going to be probably pretty ugly for this Giants offense. The Chiefs are still available in almost 50% of our leagues. So that's one that I like a lot.
Yeah, you know something? I'm not looking forward to watching that game with Heath on Sunday night on the air. That's gonna be brutal.
What would be worse? You watching that game with Heath or me watching the Hurricanes Gators game with you?
Don't upset potential there, but that.
Oh, there, please. Come on.
All right. That
I
was
would
coverage you can
suggest a
count on.
bet of some sort, but
Yeah.
I don't think Jamey.
I don't even think I'm going to watch the game. That's how
It's
disgruntled I
only
am.
an 8-point spread. I'm telling you, like the Gators they threw 5 interceptions and barely lost to the number 3 team in the country.
Yeah,
All right, guys.
that's the formula you want.
That was coverage you can count on, presented by Nationwide. Jamey, who are the kickers to pick up? Who are the other DSTs and then the kickers to pick up?
You mentioned the Falcons. I have to add them. I didn't have them in there just after redoing.
Jamie saying the Falcons is a little hard to hear.
Absolutely. Behind the Chiefs, though.
Actually, I like the Seahawks. I think they're going to make some plays against the Saints. The Bucks against Tyrod Taylor and the Jets. And the Colts, listen, their defense is playing well too. So there's 5 defenses you could look at for this week.
Chiefs, Falcons, Colts are my top 3.
Colts get Tennessee. And then kickers, Jamie?
Spencer Schrader, he's been very good. Chris Boswell continues to get the job done. John Parker Romo, who just learned his teammates after the game on Sunday. That was a very funny interview. And then Joey Sly, he's got to be up there in terms of fantasy points amongst kickers. He's got 16 plus in each of the first 2 games. So the Titans are moving the ball. They're just not scoring touchdowns.